Hi, and thanks for joining us on Real Investment News. I'm your host, Scarlett Fakar. Today we have Danny Ratliff and Richard Rosso in the studio today with us, certified financial planners, and we're talking Social Security, guys. There are a lot of people that have some misconceptions and ideas in their head about Social Security right now, and I know Richard just wrote an article about it. Can you guys tell us some important things that these guys need to take away today when it comes to Social Security?
Well, Social Security is probably the most misunderstood program out there, federal program. I know Medicare is sometimes that for us, but boy, Social Security, people have very strong feelings one way or another, and I don't think it's based on anything concrete. It's not based on a financial plan. It's not based on longevity of maybe you and what do we always say at the seminars? You're not taking only yourself into account.
That's right. You've got to take your spouse into account as well.
That's right.
And that's a big part of it. The misconceptions are really just that, because most people say, look, Social Security won't be here, or you know, I'm going to die early, and it's like you said, what are you doing? You eat McDonald's every day? Maybe you are, and that's okay.
Yeah.
But you know, those are
maybe
things
your
that need
spouse
to be taken.
isn't. Maybe your spouse is healthy.
And that's right. And so oftentimes we see that the spouse who's been the homemaker will stay home, and then the breadwinner may go ahead and take Social Security early, and that can be really detrimental to a long-term plan, because your spouse will take your Social Security, the higher Social Security, when the first spouse passes.
Yeah, it's detrimental. It's the 25% cut if you take it at age 62.
Yeah, that's huge.
And that ripples through to your spouse as well. But sometimes there are good reasons to take it at 62.
There are.
Right? Say you really need the money. Hey, listen, I'm ill, or I don't have the cash flow. So guess what? It's better than starving.
Yeah,
I need the money. I need the money. Simply, I don't need any planning if you simply need the money, right? Then you know that that's a lifetime income, and if you're not going to be able to go back to work, maybe you do need to do that. And also, say you don't have any dependent spouses that you need to worry about.
Yeah,
that also
it changes the whole picture.
Yeah, it could change that as well. But one of the worst reasons you see is that it's going to run out of money.
Yep.
You know, and Social Security sort of is a pay-as-you-go system, and payroll taxes will pay for workers along the way. Yes, there's a trust fund, and that's okay till around 2034, where about 77% of the benefits will be funded. Frankly, you don't need a lot of tweaks to make the program viable for much longer. If Congress could get off their, you know, whatever we don't want to say that word.
Well, you need to increase the amount of time you have to wait until you start taking full retirement age.
Well, they realize they haven't changed that or updated that since 1983 amendment to move Social Security age. So people are working longer and living longer, so perhaps you need to look to increase the retirement age, and also look to increase how long it takes to get the delayed retirement credit, because now you get an 8% bump between full retirement age and age 70.
And that's huge, especially when you calculate where today's valuations of the market are. How it's going to be very difficult to duplicate that type of return over time.
Yeah, where are you going to get 8%? I mean, I know we've been spoiled by these past returns, but these valuations are going to portend to lower returns going forward. At least that's what the math tells us. So it's not a good idea. And that's one of what I wrote in the article was, yeah, can you take this money and invest it? But I still don't think that's going to be a good deal going forward.
So it sounds like there's a couple factors that you need to consider when it comes to Social Security. That includes your spouse. It includes how much money you're making at the time. Does that sound about right?
That's absolutely right. You don't make a knee-jerk kind of benefit plan based on how you feel about the program or the trust fund. You do formal planning to figure out what you need to do. You go to living2100.com.
That is huge, though. That is
figure out what your life expectancy is, because if you're going to take it at age 7, you got to understand, hey, how do I maximize my benefit? How long am I going to live? I have a break even I need to be concerned about. So maybe at the least I need to wait till full retirement age, not to age 70.
That's right.
But it's very rare to take it early is a good decision.
And it may
I just
not be,
don't see it.
Yeah, and it may not be just how long you're going to live, but like we mentioned earlier, it's going to be how long your spouse is going to live. And if the plan dictates that you can live off your own funds, still retire, and draw down your own assets and take Social Security at a later date, that may actually benefit your long-term plan much better.
Right, and it also affects your survivor plan.
That's right.
If you have taken it at 62, you're going to lock your spouse into a lower amount as well. Not a good idea. Yeah, if you pass away at 62, and I have an example in the article, by the way, that outlines this.
Yep.
Well, my spouse would get my benefit at full retirement age, but once I make that decision to take it early, there's a ripple effect that you really need to consider. So it's not just your life expectancy.
That's right.
It's one of your spouse. And what trends are showing, you have a lot of older people, older men getting married, or older women getting married to younger people, and they have to consider their spouses.
Well, and I think that the number one thing, and you and I probably drive people crazy with this, is that in order to make a really educated and accurate decision here, you need to do a financial plan.
That's right.
It is an integral part of any of this type of planning. You can't just do one and have a separate decision from the other. It all has to be intertwined and work together.
You don't let politics drive your investment philosophy. You don't let politics drive what you think about Social Security. It's based on your needs and the needs of your spouse.
And of course, they can find out more on realinvestmentadvice.com. You've got Richard's article there. You can also ask either of these financial advisors questions on Social Security. Danny Ratliff, again, Richard Rosso are their names. Check us out on realinvestmentnews.com. We've got a Facebook page and a Twitter page. But for now, that's it. I'm Scarlett Fakar. We'll see you back here soon.